Europe is one of the most crowded places on Earth. Nearly 750 million people, cities, roads, farms, everywhere. For centuries, predators were pushed out, hunted, erased, and for a while, they were gone. But we underestimated them. Predators don't simply disappear, they adapt, and sometimes they come back. The gray wolf is one of the most adaptable predators on Earth. Historically, wolves had the largest natural range of any land carnivore. Their territory once stretched across most of the northern hemisphere, from North America to Europe and across large parts of Asia. In Europe alone, wolves lived almost everywhere, from the forests of Spain and Portugal to Scandinavia and across the vast landscapes of Eastern Europe. But living alongside humans came at a cost. For centuries, wolves were seen as competitors. They primarily hunt deer, the same animals humans depend on, and occasionally they prey on livestock. In response, governments across Europe organized large extermination campaigns. Hunters were often paid bounties for every wolf killed. Over time, these campaigns had a dramatic effect. By the early 20th century, wolves had disappeared from most of Western Europe. In the United Kingdom, wolves vanished roughly 500 years ago. In countries like France and Germany, they were gone by the late 1800s. For a time, Europe's forests grew quieter, but wolves never disappeared completely. Small populations survived in remote regions such as the Carpathian Mountains, parts of the Balkans, Italy's Apennine Mountains, and the vast forests of Eastern Europe. And those surviving wolves had an advantage. They are extremely mobile. A wolf searching for food or territory can travel 50 to 70 kilometers in a single night. Over longer periods, their movements can be even more impressive. Young wolves eventually leave the pack they were born into. This process is called dispersal, and it's how wolves find new territories and form new packs. Some dispersing wolves have traveled more than 1,000 kilometers across Europe. That's roughly the distance from Berlin to Paris. One wolf born in Germany was later recorded in Belarus after crossing multiple international borders. Another traveled across several countries before settling in Denmark. What truly sets wolves apart from many predators is their social structure. Wolves live in packs, usually tight family groups. But their connection isn't just visual, it's vocal. A howl can travel several kilometers. It's used to locate pack members, warn rivals, and reinforce territory. A typical pack consists of a breeding pair and their offspring from different years. Most packs contain 5 to 8 wolves, though larger groups can form when prey is abundant. Living in a group provides several advantages. First, it allows wolves to defend their territory more effectively against rival packs. Second, it allows them to hunt animals that would be far too large for a single wolf to handle alone. And third, it allows cooperative behavior, including raising pups and sharing information about food sources. Living as a group also means defending territory, and sometimes that leads to conflict. When two packs meet, the outcome can be serious. These encounters are rare, but they can turn violent. Because losing a territory doesn't just mean retreat. It can mean losing access to food, or even the survival of the pack itself. The main prey of wolves in Europe includes large herbivores, such as red deer, roe deer, and wild boar. These animals are often much larger than a wolf. The average European wolf weighs around 35 to 45 kilograms, while an adult red deer can weigh over 200 kilograms. Because of that size difference, wolves rely heavily on strategy. When wolves encounter a herd of deer, they usually don't attack immediately. The pack watches how the herd reacts. They look for animals that appear vulnerable, individuals that are injured, young, old, or simply slower than the rest. Once a potential target is identified, the wolves begin applying pressure. Some wolves chase the prey directly. Others move into positions that can block escape routes. They push the prey animal to run long distances, gradually exhausting it. Wolves can reach speeds of around 60 kilometers per hour, but their real advantage is their stamina. Eventually, the prey slows down. That's when the pack closes in. Working together, wolves can bring down animals many times their own size. In some regions, wolf packs have been recorded killing elk, weighing over 400 kilograms. But the impact of wolves goes far beyond individual hunts. In many ecosystems, wolves play the role of top predator, which means their presence influences many other species. Large herbivores like deer can have major effects on vegetation. When their populations grow too large, they may overgraze forests and prevent young trees from growing. When wolves are present, this dynamic often changes. Prey animals become more cautious. They move more frequently and spend less time feeding in the same areas. Scientists call this phenomenon a trophic cascade. By influencing the behavior and population of herbivores, wolves indirectly affect vegetation, forest structure, and even other animal species. One of the clearest examples comes from Yellowstone National Park. After wolves were reintroduced in 1995, elk behavior began to change. They avoided certain areas, giving vegetation a chance to recover. Over time, forests regrew, and even river systems began to stabilize. In other words, wolves don't just shape prey populations, they help shape entire landscapes. Today, wolves are returning to parts of Europe where they had been absent for decades. It is now estimated that more than 17,000 wolves live across Europe, spread across over 20 countries. In recent decades, wolves have naturally recolonized areas of Germany, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, and Switzerland. In a continent dominated by humans, wolves have learned one of the most effective survival strategies possible: stay out of sight. And it's that ability to adapt to new landscapes, new pressures, and new challenges that has allowed the gray wolf to reclaim parts of Europe it once lost. The wolf doesn't survive because it's the strongest. It survives because it works together. And in a changing world, that might be the most powerful strategy of all. The Eurasian lynx is the largest species of lynx in the world and the largest wild cat native to Europe. Adult males typically weigh between 22 and 30 kilograms, while females are usually slightly smaller. That may seem modest compared to large predators like lions or tigers, but the lynx doesn't depend on size. The Eurasian lynx represents a very different kind of predator and rely on something else entirely: stealth. It has evolved into one of the most efficient ambush predators in forest ecosystems. Its body is built for that strategy. The lynx has long, powerful hind legs, allowing it to launch explosive jumps during an attack. It also has large padded paws. These paws serve two important functions. First, they allow the lynx to move almost silently across forest floors. Second, in winter, they act like natural snowshoes, spreading the animal's weight so it can move across deep snow. For prey animals like deer, deep snow can be exhausting. For a lynx, it often becomes an advantage. The lynx's fur also plays a role in its hunting success. Its coat is spotted and mottled, which helps break up its outline among trees and shadows. Then there are the ears. Lynx have distinctive black ear tufts, which may help improve directional hearing. Combined with strong low-light vision, this allows them to hunt effectively during dawn and dusk. But perhaps the lynx's most important trait is patience. Unlike wolves, lynx do not chase prey over long distances. Instead, they stalk. A lynx moves slowly through its territory, often following trails used by deer and other animals. When it detects potential prey, it begins closing the distance carefully. It uses vegetation, terrain, and natural cover to remain hidden. Sometimes the lynx may pause for several minutes, waiting for the right moment. Most attacks occur when the lynx is within 10 to 20 meters of its target. At that distance, the hunt changes instantly. The lynx explodes forward. It closes the gap in a single movement. Claws sink into the prey, teeth lock around the throat. The entire hunt can end in less than 5 seconds. This method allows lynx to capture prey that can be as large as themselves. Across much of Europe, the lynx primarily hunts roe deer. A roe deer can weigh between 20 and 35 kilograms. In mountainous regions, the lynx may also hunt animals like chamois, or smaller prey such as mountain hares. Because they hunt alone, efficiency is critical. A failed hunt wastes energy. Ambush hunting reduces that risk. After a successful kill, the lynx often drags the carcass into dense vegetation. It may cover the remains with leaves, snow, or soil to protect it from scavengers. Then it returns to feed over several days. A single deer can sustain a lynx for 3 to 5 days. Over the course of a year, an adult lynx may kill around 50 to 60 roe deer. That may sound significant, but the overall impact is usually balanced. Lynx often target animals that are young, weak, or injured. Because of this, they can help maintain healthier prey populations. Like many predators, lynx require large territories. An adult male may control an area between 100 and 400 square kilometers. Female territories are smaller, but still extensive. In some regions, lynx have been recorded living within 20 to 30 kilometers of towns without being noticed. Most of this activity happens at night, and that is one reason why people rarely see them. Even in regions with stable populations, lynx sightings are extremely uncommon. Historically, however, lynx were far more widespread. Like wolves, their populations declined sharply during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Lynx were hunted for their fur and often killed to protect livestock and game animals. But small populations survived in remote regions such as Scandinavia, the Carpathian Mountains, and parts of the Balkans. And from these regions, they eventually returned. Conservation efforts and reintroduction programs began to restore lynx populations in the late 20th century. But unlike wolves, their return has been quieter. Today, the Eurasian lynx survives in several regions across Europe. The total population is estimated at around 9,000 to 10,000 individuals. That is fewer than wolves, but their role remains significant. Lynx help regulate herbivore populations, influence animal behavior, and contribute to forest balance. In a landscape shaped by human activity, that ability to remain undetected has allowed the Eurasian lynx to persist. The brown bear is the largest land predator still living in Europe. Adult males typically weigh between 250 and 350 kilograms, with some individuals exceeding 400 kilograms. When standing upright, bears can reach nearly 3 meters tall. That makes them far larger than predators like the gray wolf or the Eurasian lynx. But what makes the brown bear truly fascinating is this. Despite its size, it is not primarily a hunter. It is an omnivore, and that flexibility has helped it survive for thousands of years. Unlike wolves or lynx, which depend heavily on meat, brown bears have an extremely varied diet. Depending on the season, they eat berries, roots, nuts, insects, fish, carrion, small mammals, and occasionally large prey. In many European ecosystems, plant material makes up 70 to 80% of their diet. During summer, bears can spend up to 20 hours a day feeding. And as autumn approaches, their behavior shifts into hyperphagia, a phase of intense feeding. During this period, a large bear may consume up to 20,000 calories per day, about 8 times that of an average human. These fat reserves carry them through winter, when bears retreat into dens and survive for months without eating. Even though they are not specialized hunters, brown bears are incredibly powerful. Their massive shoulder hump is made of dense muscle that powers their forelimbs. Their claws can grow up to 10 centimeters long. This allows them to dig through frozen ground, flip heavy rocks, tear open logs, and rip apart carcasses. And despite their size, bears can run at speeds of around 50 kilometers per hour in short bursts. That combination of strength and speed makes them extremely dangerous, especially when defending cubs or food. Yet most of the time, bears avoid confrontation whenever possible. But this calm behavior has its limits. When 2 brown bears meet, the encounter can turn tense. During the breeding season, males may clash, not to kill, but to dominate. They size each other up, standing tall, roaring, swiping with immense force. These confrontations are powerful, but often brief. One bear usually backs down before serious injury occurs. For females, the stakes are even higher. A mother with cubs is among the most defensive animals in the wild. If she senses a threat, especially from a male bear, she will stand her ground. In rare cases, these encounters can become violent. The most powerful tool of a bear is not its strength, but its sense of smell. A brown bear's nose is believed to be at least 7 times stronger than a bloodhound's, which is already considered one of the best scent detectors in the animal kingdom. Under the right conditions, they can detect food from over 20 kilometers away. This allows them to locate carcasses, berry patches, insect nests, and salmon streams with remarkable accuracy. Some bears have even been observed traveling long distances across complex terrain toward food they detected hours earlier. In many ways, bears experience the world primarily through scent. They also use scent to communicate. By rubbing against trees, bears leave information about their size, their identity, and reproductive status. These scent trees act as communication hubs within their habitat. Although plants dominate their diet, brown bears are still capable predators. They may hunt deer, wild boar, moose calves, and occasionally livestock, but they usually target young, weak, or injured animals. More often, they rely on scavenging. Using their sense of smell, bears can locate carcasses from kilometers away. This often brings them into competition with wolves. In many cases, bears simply take over wolf kills, using their size to dominate the carcass. Once opened, the remains benefit a wide range of scavengers: foxes, ravens, insects, and microorganisms. In this way, bears act as ecosystem recyclers, redistributing nutrients across the food web. Historically, brown bears lived across most of Europe, but centuries of hunting and habitat loss reduced their range dramatically by the early 20th century. Today, most European brown bears survive in a few key strongholds: the Carpathian Mountains, Scandinavia, the Balkan Peninsula, and parts of the Alps. Across Europe, there are an estimated 17,000 brown bears. Romania alone is believed to host over 6,000 individuals, one of the largest populations on the continent. This recovery is considered a major conservation success. In many areas, bears have adapted by becoming more active at night. They move quietly through forests and mountains, often going completely unnoticed. Many people live near bears without ever realizing it. Today, even in one of the most human-dominated continents on Earth, these massive predators still survive. 3 predators, 3 completely different survival strategies. Survival is one thing, conflict is another. What happens when some animals don't just survive, but face each other? Click the video on your screen to watch the top 5 animal face-offs.